Maybe you're doing everything right. You wake up early, you work, you take care of your home, you take care of life, you try to improve, you try to become a better person, and still, there's an inner weight you can't quite explain. It's not normal physical tiredness. It feels like something is being carried inside, quietly, constantly, invisibly. Many people feel this, but very few stop to honestly investigate where that weight comes from. What most people don't realize is that we spend our entire lives accumulating things. And not just physical things. We accumulate expectations, other people's opinions, inherited beliefs, ideas about who we're supposed to be, fears that were never questioned. And the most dangerous part is this: we start calling all of it me. Over time, we stop asking whether what we think, feel, and believe actually makes sense for us, or if we're just repeating something we absorbed before we were old enough to question it. That's where inner weight begins, when identity becomes outdated. There's an old version of you that might still be in charge, a version shaped by phrases like, "You've always been like this. That's not for you. You're not good at that. You never finish what you start." These phrases sound small, but over time, they become internal structures. And without noticing, you start living to maintain an identity you never consciously chose. Letting go of that old identity isn't denying the past. It's recognizing that you're not sentenced to it. You don't need to stay loyal to who you were at 15, 20, or even last year. Growth isn't inconsistency, it's maturity. Another very common inner weight comes from the illusion of control. There's a deep difference between organizing your life and trying to control everything. Planning is healthy. Control is exhausting. When someone needs to control everything, they don't trust the process. They don't trust people. And deep down, they don't fully trust themselves. Everything becomes a personal responsibility. The outcome, the other person's reaction, the perfect ending. And when something goes off script, frustration, anxiety, and guilt appear. Life doesn't follow rigid scripts. It improvises. It responds. It changes. Excessive control creates tension. Letting go isn't giving up. It's trusting. You can control your actions. You can't control outcomes. When this truth is truly integrated, something shifts inside. Your focus moves away from obsessing over the destination and returns to being present in the process. Another invisible weight is mental noise. We live surrounded by information all the time. News, opinions, comparisons, pressure. Everything comes in too fast and leaves too fast. The mind has no room for silence, and without silence, there is no clarity. Too much information doesn't create wisdom. It creates confusion. It creates anxiety. It creates constant comparison. Comparing yourself to others is one of the most destructive habits of awareness. You're never seeing anyone's full story. You're comparing your backstage with someone else's edited stage. That steals joy from your own progress. It makes you feel permanently behind, using a measurement that isn't fair. The only healthy comparison is with who you were yesterday. If there's growth, there's direction. Another common weight is urgency. The obsession with fast results creates chronic frustration. The most valuable things in life aren't conquered, they're built. And building requires time, repetition, and presence. When you rush, you skip steps. When you skip steps, you build fragile structures. What's built in a hurry collapses easily. What's built with consistency lasts. There's also the weight of fearing other people's opinions. When criticism destroys you, it's usually not because it's true, but because it touched an old wound. Someone who truly knows themselves doesn't need to defend constantly. They can listen, filter, and move on. Most people are far too busy dealing with their own insecurities to truly think about you. And when they judge, they're usually projecting. Another silent weight is the constant need to justify yourself. Over-explaining your no's, asking permission to live, feeling guilty for choosing peace. A clear no doesn't need a detailed explanation. It's not rude, it's self-respect. Negative thoughts are part of the human experience. The mind thinks that's its job. The problem isn't a thought appearing, the problem is merging with it. A thought isn't truth, it's mental production. When you learn to observe without fighting, resisting, or identifying, the mind loses its power over you. Another essential point is silent self-destructive habits. Not just the obvious ones, but the small daily behaviors that slowly sabotage what you're building. Often, self-sabotage comes from a deep belief of unworthiness, a part of you that prefers the familiar, even if it's painful, over the unknown. And finally, one of the biggest blocks to prosperity, the inability to receive. Receiving compliments, receiving help, receiving opportunities. Many people know how to give, but don't know how to receive. And that's not virtue, it's a wound. Receiving takes courage. It means letting the flow come in without guilt, without immediately giving back, without self-sabotage. Prosperity isn't only about chasing things. It's also about opening your hands when something good arrives. You may have already noticed that this inner weight doesn't stay only in the mind. It shows up in the body. The body speaks what the mind tries to ignore. Tight shoulders, pressure in the chest, shallow breathing, fatigue that rest doesn't fix. Many people think they're just stressed, when in reality they've been emotionally overloaded for years. The body stores what wasn't expressed, resolved, or released. And when you begin to let go of internal weight, something interesting happens. The body responds. Breathing deepens. The chest opens. The body relaxes without effort. Inner lightness isn't a pretty concept. It's a physical sensation. And when it appears, you realize you were carrying far more than necessary without even noticing. There's a quiet moment in every real transformation. It's not when you decide to change. It's when you decide to stop carrying what weighs you down. That moment doesn't arrive with noise. It arrives with clarity. You say yes less automatically. You respect your limits more. You notice when you're carrying something that isn't yours. And slowly, something reorganizes inside. The external world may not change overnight, but how you position yourself within it does. And that changes everything. Because when you stop carrying unnecessary weight, your energy becomes available to create, decide, and move forward. Lightness isn't the absence of responsibility. It's presence without overload. These weights are not who you are. They are layers accumulated over time. And just as they were accumulated, they can be released, one layer at a time. You don't have to do everything now. Start with the layer that resonated most while listening. Real transformation is quiet. It happens when the old self stops sustaining patterns that no longer make sense. Be prosperous from the inside out.